Hello, fourth graders. Welcome. You have found the Unit 1 review. So we've been working for a few weeks and we have completed all of the skills in Unit 1. So we're going to review those skills today. Now, I'll tell you, this video is going to be longer in terms of it's going to require you to do a lot more work on scrap sheet of paper or separate sheet of paper or in your math notebook. And that's okay. It's going to take you a long time to get through this video, but there's nothing to do in your math journal today, right? This is what we're doing. So please make sure, show responsibility, right? Make sure that when we pause and you're supposed to do a question, that you do that question, and then you can check your work as you roll through the video, right? If you just kind of make random guesses and just to get through it, then of course you're not going to be able to be learning as much as you would be able to. Okay, so we're going to start by talking about the value of digits, right? Place value is something that we covered. So we're going to identify the value of the digits in these numbers. So not what place they're in. Now we need to know that, but we're going to be writing down the value of these numbers. So in this, the six here in this number is in the hundreds place. So the value of that number, I'm writing on the screen, would be 600, right? 6 groups of 100 is equal to 600. The 7, is in the thousands place, so it is worth 7,000. The 1 is in the ones place, so it's just worth 1. What do you think the 4 is worth? You said 40. You are correct because it's worth 4 groups in the tens place. Now, we're going to be asked to identify the places. So you really have to be a careful reader, of course, during math things too. Identify the places in the number. So the 5, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So I'm going to write thousands. Probably around there. The 8. What place is the 8 in? Did you say hundreds? It is in the hundreds spot. And the 9, what place value is the 9 in? It is in the 10,000s spot. Remember, the way that you remember that is that you know that it goes ones, tens, hundreds, so the middle number is the tens. Here's the same thing. Thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, so the middle number starts with the word 10, right? It becomes 10,000. All right, here we go. Number 3, comparing numbers, which is greater. So we're going to look at the first place value if they're the same, right? So 600 and 600, 5 tens versus 0 tens. So that number is greater on the left. So we make the mouth eat the bigger number, right? Here, I'm going to make it into a mouth. There, now it's Pac-Man, right? Now give it teeth. Just make it eat the bigger number. It wants more. All right, what do you think for B? Which one is bigger? The number that's bigger is the number 2,796. How about C? Let's look. 9 in the 10,000, same thing here. 8 in the thousand spot. So the number on the left here is larger. You do the last one. Which one is larger? You should have said 105,987 is larger. Okay, now we're going to go to rounding. Rounding was our next big skill that we really spent a lot of time on. I'm going to model with part B, and then you're going to do part A. So I'm going to round this number to the nearest 10,000. So remember, tens are in the middle here, so 10,000s is in the middle here. I'm going to underline the 10,000s place and draw an arrow. So this is the number that I'm going to look at, 4. I'm going to ask, is it 5 or above? If it would shove the 2 to a 3, but it's not, so the 2 stays the same. The number that you underline is either going to go up or stay the same. It's never going to go down. 2 is going to stay the same. Now, what about this these numbers after this. What are all they going to become? They're going to be zeros because I'm rounding. However, the number that was worth more than our place value, it gets to stay right where it was. We're going to keep that number. All right, you try number 4. Okay, you should have noticed that we were rounding to the nearest 100, and you should have drawn an arrow to the 6. 6 is 5 or above. It shoves the 8 up to a 9. We keep the 2 zeros after that, and the 7 stays, 7,900. All right, here is what we have with number 5. We're going to, well, let's read it first. Kimberly baked 92 cookies on Friday, 129 on Saturday, and 75 on Sunday. She gave 16 to her friends. She needs at least 325 for the basketball team's bake sale. Without solving, do you think she baked enough? Okay, so without solving is the key thing here. We're not going to be adding, subtracting any numbers. What we want to do first is to estimate, right? And we have learned all about estimating, a couple different methods that we have to be able to estimate. So what I'm going to do now, as I look at these, right, this 92 is close to, I can kind of round it to the tens place or round it to the nearest 100. I'm going to round it to the tens place. That's about 90. Now, look at these two numbers, 75 and 129. Now, I could make this 130 and this 80. Yep, that would be fine. But I know that if I make this 125 and this stays 75, that these two go together and are going to be 200. So I'm going to do that. And like I said, you could have gone to 129 plus 80. That would work too. So how many cookies has she made so far? 200 plus 90 is 290. And she gives 16 to her friends. So we're going to take off, that's about 20, right? 20 less here is 270. So do you think she baked enough? No way, right? She's not even really close. She should wants to have at least 325. So our answer here is no. How do you know? Write your estimation strategy. I'm going to do this one here with you. What did we do first? You tell me, what did we do first? Okay, we would write this with a sentence. First, let's see if I can get that a little higher here. There we go. We rounded or picked close to numbers we can easily work with. So that's one way to explain it. You might have said something a little bit different, but that's what we did. What did we do next? What did we do with these numbers? This 90 and this 200. Then we added the number of cookies she made. Hey, what did we do next? What did we do with these 16 that she gave to her friends? Next, we subtracted the ones she gave to her friends. And what did we find out at the end? What did we find out? We found out she does not have enough cookies. Right? So just like we talked about before, when we're explaining something in math, these transition words are critical. First, next, then, those are super, super important. Okay? If we're going to find the exact number of cookies that Kimberly has for the bake sale, now we're going to use the real numbers. So 92, 129, and 75. I'm going to add those up. 92, 129, and 75. Okay, add those up. You do it first. Okay, let's see if you got the right answer. 2 plus 9 is 11, plus 5 more is 16. Carry the 1. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 7 is 19. Carry the 1. 296 cookies. Right? We always want to know what our numbers stand for. Now, what does she do? Let's go back and look. She gives some to her friends, right? She gives some. So I'm going to need to take those away. I'm going to need to subtract those. 296 times, or excuse me, minus, times would be a lot, minus 16. What do you think? 6 minus 6, 9 minus 1, and 2 minus nothing. No borrowing. 280 cookies is what she would have. So that's what we would put in our answer spot, 286 cookies. Now the number model we just did, right? I'm not going to rewrite it again, but I would write that sideways here. Look back at your estimate. Does your answer make sense? Your answer makes sense if your answer is pretty close to the estimate. So let's go back up. Our answer was 286 and our estimate was 270. We're in good shape, right? Those are fairly close. So that's how estimating is important. All right, now our last page here, we're going to be estimating and then solving. So I'm going to do the first two. You're going to do the other ones. There's 6 problems here, and we're going to see how you're doing with your adding and subtracting. So to add, I'm going to, oh, I almost put that in the thousands place. That would have been bad because that 5 is in the hundreds place. So I need to put it in the hundreds place or else my whole problem is going to be messed up. I'm going to add, I get 10, carry the 1. 1 plus 3 plus 8 is 12. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 5 more is 10. 1 plus 8 is, or 1 plus 7 is 8. Oh no, I forgot something. You probably are going to do this too. I needed to estimate. So I'm going to estimate this. Let's see, I'm going to round this to 7. Oh, I could either round it to 700 or 7,500. I'm going to do 7,500 because it's pretty close to that. This is close to 600. I could do 600, but I'm going to do 500 because it works pretty well with what I have so far because these two make 1,000. So my answer I'm expecting to be around 8,000. And then now you can see that I got this. I did this in the wrong order. Let's see if I can remember to do it in the right order on the next one. Estimate 917. That's closer to 900. 439. That's closer to 400 equals 500. So look what I did when I estimated, right? Sometimes we want to just round to the highest place value like we did here. Sometimes we can use our math brains and see some things that are going to go together pretty well, right? 7,500 and 500 went together pretty well. That's why there's so many different ways that people estimate. And if you can explain it and it works for you, you should definitely use that method. All right, now we need to get our answer here. 7 minus 9. What should we have here? Let's see. It has a big bottom, right? The bigger number's on the bottom, so we have to borrow. So we have nothing left there, and we give that 1 over to the ones place. 17 minus 9 is 8. 0 minus 3 has a big bottom. Bigger numbers on the bottom. Big bottom, borrow. Borrow from the 8. Put that 1 next to the 0. Now we have 10 minus 3, which is 7, and 8 minus 4, which is 4. So our answer is 478. And we can take a look right here to see that we are in the same ballpark here. All right, so you're going to do one of these, and then we'll check, and then the next one, and then we'll check, and that's how we're going to finish this page. Okay. So I want you to do your estimate and then your answer for this problem. Do both of those things, estimate and answer. Go ahead. Okay, so if I was estimating this, I would take this up to 1,000. 129 or 199 is really close to 200, and my estimate would be 800. Now I'm going to subtract those. If you added them, oh, check your sign. Let's see, 4 minus 9, I have to borrow from the 6. Now I have 14. 14 minus 9 is 5. 5 minus 9, it has a big bottom. Bigger numbers on the bottom, big bottom, borrow. Borrow from the 8. Now I have 15 there. 15 minus 9 is 6, and 8 minus 1 is 7. Okay, so if you don't have 765, check to see, right? This is where we're learning and getting a chance to practice. Check to see what you might have done. Then you may do the next one. Estimate first. Go ahead. Okay, estimating. This one's going to round to 600, and this one's going to round to 700. That's what I would have done. If you estimated a little bit differently, that's fine. Maybe you did 550 and 650, although that's might have been harder to deal with. But if it worked for you, great. 1,300. Now adding. Let's see what we get. 12, and that's 12 also. 1,221. All right, last two problems on our review today. I know this has been a long, long video with lots of pausing and lots of work for you to do in your notebook, but there's nothing for you to do in your math journal today. So after you watch this video, you do your IXL and then you're all finished. Okay, next one, subtracting. Go ahead and estimate it. Okay, I would do 700 minus 600. I'm going to expect an answer around 100. If you haven't done this problem, go ahead and do it now. All right, zeros can be tricky. And so as you go through this zero, watch this. Okay, so 4 minus 8 has a big bottom, so we have to borrow. But there's nothing here at this 0. So the 0 has to borrow from the 7. Right? Now the 0 has 10. Okay? But we still have 4 minus 8, which we can't do. It has a big bottom. So, but now look, we can borrow from the 10 now. Now there's something in that 10 place. And we have 14 here. Now all we do is our facts, and then there's 0 here. 66, is it pretty close to 100? It is. Alrighty, last one. Estimate first, then do this problem. All right, let's see. If I estimate this, I'm taking this to 2,000 and this to 1,000. So I'm expecting to get an answer around 3,000 because I'm adding them. Oh, did you subtract them? Uh-oh. Make sure you have the 9 in the hundred spot. If your 9 is over here in the thousands, it's in the wrong place value. It's going to throw your answer way off. Okay, no carrying yet. That would be 16. 2,697. All right, so what I would suggest, if you had something in this video that was a real trouble spot for you, I would suggest going into your Math SRB, right? Whether you have the book or if you're in the online version, which a lot of you probably are, and maybe reading a page or two that went with something, like maybe it was hard for rounding. So go search for rounding, read that page. It's just something you can do if there's something here that you feel uncomfortable with because our test is coming up in our next day. So, all right. Like I said, no math journal page, so you're going to IXL and then you'll be all finished with math things for today. Please let me know if you need any help with anything, and good luck.